Welcome to Introducing. We have a new face in our evangelism team here. Here's Angelina. Tell us about yourself. Where you're based, what do you do?
Hi, everyone. My name is Angelina Fabbro, and I'm a Firefox OS technical evangelist. I am going to be working out of Vancouver, BC, where Mozilla has a space here. And I've spent the last few years building all kinds of mobile applications across a multitude of platforms. And I came to Mozilla because I really believe in the idea of an open web platform. And so I will be the person that you come to when you have questions about how to build something with Firefox OS. And if you want to give feedback to the developers about a particular API that you've found interesting or maybe have some feedback on.
Cool. So you've been quite doing the rounds on conferences already. So what do you think is what do you get out of a conference? What do you think people should go to one? How do you get the most out of a conference?
Well, the reason I like going to conferences is because you're exposed to people from around the world with a lot of different ideas in a very small setting. So, for example, some of the JavaScript conferences I've been to are at most maybe 300 people. So it ends up fairly close knit that you get to kind of meet a lot of different people from a lot of different places really quickly. And on top of that, the conference tracks at a lot of these conferences tend to have some of the newest bleeding edge ideas. So you sort of get to be one of the people who takes home like the freshest, newest ideas. And I find that after I go away to a conference, I mean, the conference itself can be kind of exhausting. You know, you spend a couple days absorbing lots of new information, meeting lots of new people, connecting with other developers to see how they make apps and how they do business and what their day-to-day life is like. But I always find that about a few days after I get back from a conference, I'm always really excited to start making something. Like I literally can't help myself. I usually sometimes have to tell myself, okay, Angelina, you already have a side project, but I'm always so inspired. And so I think that that is a really excellent reason to go to a conference. It's worth it to meet the new people, to learn about all the exciting new things, and you might just find that a few days afterwards you have some new inspiration for your work and the things that you love.
Hmm. So coming from native, what is the thing that you're gonna miss on the web, and what is the thing that you're really not gonna miss?
Oh, okay. Things that I would miss from native. Well, I did native iOS and Android, and frankly, I really liked some of the tools in Xcode. Everything except for the provisioning profile process. If you're out there and you've been through that process, I'm sure you know my pain. But as far as Xcode goes, it's actually a very helpful editor. The static analyzer does a really good job. And once your provisioning profile is set up, building to device and testing is actually quite a nice, easy tool chain. So I'm going to miss that a little bit, but not too much because I mean I like I say I was a web developer before I did native stuff. So for me it's an easy transition to sort of return to a lot of the web tools and tool chain. So I feel like I mean the web has a very different tool chain, but I'm also comfortable with that. Things that I'm not going to miss. When it comes to the native ecosystems for apps, there are a lot of constraints that the marketplaces will put on your apps and the submission process, and I think that some of those can be a little bit restrictive when it comes to freedom of expression, and the processes to have these things approved can also be very lengthy. I'm hoping with our marketplace and Firefox OS that we can sort of make the opportunity to publish a lot faster and a lot more openly.
Hmm. Senior Canadian, the most question that we have as Europeans is like, do you have a pet moose?
Oh, no, I don't have a pet moose. I have two pet cats and a pet scientist.
A pet scientist?
Yes.
Okay. I guess that we don't want to go too far into that. So I saw a talk by you on web components. Is that the thing that drives you the most right now? What do you think is the technology that is not there yet, but we should be pushing browser makers to start putting into the browsers?
Well, I mean, the web components thing for me, it really got me because I really have felt for a long time that we need better front end encapsulation techniques. I mean, up until recently, we only really had iframes and then what we could sort of do ourselves with JavaScript. And for anybody who's been making websites, and there are a lot of people out there that use HTML, CSS, maybe they use jQuery or other stock libraries to do a lot of the heavy lifting for them. A lot of them may not understand the consequences of some of the code that they write. And if we can introduce better means of front-end encapsulation, for example, using like declarative web components so that people can literally just write markup and have sort of an encapsulated boundary for their component, giving those tools to people so that they don't have to necessarily understand the nuts and bolts means that we're more likely to have better web apps made. Because, I mean, I'm somebody who likes to tinker underneath the hood and figure out how this stuff works, maybe make something myself. But I also recognize that when somebody is working on the clock for someone else, or maybe they're a designer who doesn't know JavaScript very well, but they can use declarative stuff like HTML, making that available to them, I think overall will mean a better app ecosystem out there, more robust apps, more modular apps as a result. So I do feel pretty strongly that web components are the future. I've been joking to people that between like Xtags and the Tool Kitchen, sorry, they're called Polymer now, between Xtags and Polymer and all the work that's being done on web components. Like 2013 is really the year for web components. I mean, I say that, but the browser support and everything is still coming. We have like polyfills and what people call sort of like probably fills, since some of the specifications are still in a state of flux. But I feel like there's a lot of traction that's happened since I gave a talk on this last year in, I guess it was October. I'm actually really impressed that it's come this far. I'm hoping to see things like CSS variables stick around and web components. I think those are pretty fantastic.
Well, as you can see, it won't be a problem to get Angelina to talk about things. So I'm very happy that you're around. So welcome to Mozilla, and let's kick butt together.
Yes, definitely. That's the plan.